All right, my guest at this time is an indie pro wrestler from Texas. You can catch her and many others on Booker T's ROW for a big show that includes Kurt Angle. I'm joined with Robyn Reid. She's with me right now. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing real good, real good. Thank you so much for being on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So I've been reading info about this big show coming up on August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Booker T's ROW Reality of Wrestling, and it's going to include the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Talk about this show that's coming up and what can people expect.
Man, I feel like this is like our WrestleMania. This is a Summer of Champions 3. It's going to be huge. We sell out every year, tons and tons of people everywhere. And then we're going to have like the great Kurt Angle there on top of Booker T and Charmel, and it's just you're going to have some of the best guys competing, So this is a show that you're not going to want to miss. Summer of Champions at Booker T's World Gym Arena. Make sure you guys come. We're going to blow the roof off pretty much.
So that's going to be on Saturday, August 20th. It's going to be at 8 p.m. That's 8 p.m. Central, by the way, for those wondering what time zone that may be. But it is in Texas. You can go to realityofwrestling.com for more details. And it's also going to be a meet and greet prior to the event. So you can either take a picture with Kurt, you can take a picture of Booker, or all three, as in Kurt, Booker, and Charmel. The lovely Charmel is going to be there.
Yes. Queen Charmel.
Yes. It just takes me back to the King Booker days,
Yeah.
and how he reinvented himself, and it led to him being the world champion. And all those 6 championships he's won has been the gold belt. And he's a Hall of Famer. The fact that he still works for the WWE and managed to have his own wrestling company, that's pretty cool. It's just good to see someone of Booker and his legacy, and he wants to help the next generation of wrestlers out there. So
yes, definitely. Booker definitely, I will say, he has a hell of a legacy behind him. He's a great guy to work for, and when he's talking, when he's giving advice, it's like you have to stop and listen to him. It's just a natural thing, whether you're in the ring rolling around during training or something else is going on, and then you just hear him talk. It's like you have to stop, because this man has 25 plus years in the business, and it's awesome to be able to work for a person like that.
I consider Booker T one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. And not only that, I consider him the most decorated African-American wrestler of all time for what he's been able to accomplish. There wasn't a lot of African-Americans getting main events outside of Ron Simmons until Booker came along, and he elevated with WCW, and then he elevated with WWE, and to still be involved within the wrestling business to this day after his in-ring career has ended. It speaks how much passion he still has for the company, and wants to be around.
Yeah, because
for years.
Booker had, his opinion is held in high regard. So I feel like that's definitely something, that helps him continue to stay there with the WWE. He's one of those guys that a lot of people get along with and that a lot of people respect. And in this business, those are some key things, that you want to be respected, and you definitely want to be someone easy to get along with. And Booker has those components, which is why you still see him till this day on the WWE.
Absolutely. Now, for you, going back to the August 20th show, are you going to be competing in that show? Are you
I hope so. That is the goal. My goal is to pretty much get my rematch that I have not received yet. So it's like all the other girls are coming in, getting these matches, and I'm just like, hey, guys, where's my rematch? So we'll see what happens on August 20th. I don't know if I'm going to have to just go in and just bogart and just take over and be like, I want my match now. So we'll see what happens.
That's definitely the way to go. Sometimes you gotta take matters into your own hands. If they ain't gonna put you on the show, you put yourself on the show, and you let them other girls know that, hey, Robyn Reid is still here in case you forgot, and you better not forget me. You
Yeah,
know.
I play no games. I
uh,
play no games. My saying is I like to win by any means necessary. So do what I got to do.
Absolutely. Now, what got you started into becoming a wrestler? What got you started into the business?
Well, I've always been a fan of wrestling. I can remember my the earliest memory that I have was watching the Ultimate Warrior and Papa. I always say his name was Papa Shango. Their little feud they had going where he had the voodoo spell put on him and he threw up backstage. I don't know why, but that just sticks out in my mind. Like I said, I've always been a fan of wrestling. My parents have been fans of wrestling, but I did not think about actually doing it until like a few years ago. And I just missed from being in sports when I was in school. I was an athlete in school, and I just wanted something different. I wanted to challenge myself, and then on top of that, it's just a bond that me and my nephew have. He has cerebral palsy, but he loves wrestling, and so we were watching it, and I just had the random thought in my head while I was watching Monday Night Raw. I was just looking at it, and I was like, I bet I could do this. Literally, that was the most random thought I've ever had in my life, and it's been history ever since. I've just been working hard.
Was there anyone out there on the wrestling scene, whether it's indie or whether it's pro, that inspire you to become a wrestler?
Yes, I definitely look up to the Sherry Martells and the Luna Vachons and the Litas. I know when I first started, I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, and so I remember watching Lita during the Attitude Era, and she was that girl that was just doing the crazy stuff, the high flying stuff with the guys, just working with them, and I was just like, I want to be like her. So when I first had my first couple matches, I was the only girl there at the smaller promotion that I was at. I was the only girl there, so I did get the opportunity to do those a lot of those high flying moves, such as the cross bodies and the top rope ranas and the wheelbarrow pins and bulldogs and things like that. So I would definitely say Lita is who stuck out to me, and China. She was just, I don't know, the epitome of breaking down the stereotypes. So I appreciate all those women, like Ivory, Jacqueline, like all those women.
That was definitely quite the era, that for the Attitude Era as far as the woman
Mhm.
is concerned. With Trish and Lita, Victoria, Jazz, Ivory. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, those
Mhm.
ladies put a sensational show. And Lita, I mean, I'm still looking for a female on the wrestling scene that can do the moves that she does, and I haven't seen it. I mean, she's like her own breed. Now, I don't know, maybe they don't want to take any chances or they don't want to go for the high risk all the time, but I mean, Lita wasn't scared. She did that to the girls. She did that to the guys. She did
Mhm.
it to anyone
Yeah.
that got in her way. Now
Yeah.
there will be times when they do the high flying moves, but it's not like Lita. She did it constantly.
Mhm.
No, 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 no second guessing whatsoever.
No hesitation. Yeah,
she just
I did get a chance to meet her last year, though. I met her a couple times, but I actually got a chance to sit down and talk to her because she was at last year's Summer Champion,
Oh,
and
okay.
she presented the vacated Diamonds Division Championship. I ended up winning, and I was marking out on the inside because I'm like, here I am standing in this ring, and this woman, my idol, is walking towards me to give me this championship title. And I had to, man, you don't understand, I had to try my hardest to stay into character. I talked to her afterwards, and I was like, thank you so much. Like, it was just, I don't know, that was my WrestleMania moment. So,
That is absolutely awesome. It's okay to mark out. It's okay when you stand close to a legend like that. I mean, you can't help it.
yeah.
It's that's that's groundbreaking. So congrats to you on having that moment. That's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
now, what the do you have any other like favorite moments, favorite highlights of your career that stands out?
Of myself, what I've had so far.
Yes, yes.
Oh man, I got the opportunity to work Casey Carlisle. Um, Casey Carlisle, she's been in the business for a while, and man, when I say she is the definition of a ring general, this woman, like, I don't know, it's like after I wrestled, like after I worked her in a match, it's like the light just went off in my head, like, oh my God, this is what I need to be doing, and she sat down, she gave me great advice, she gave me great feedback, and she was just, to this day, I still talk to her, like, if I have any questions, I look up to her, and that's what I've been waiting to find is a girl that I can actually sit down and feel comfortable talking to, getting advice from. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this, or how should I go about doing this? She's awesome. I got a chance to work Beta Scott. She's a really cool girl. But yeah, it's been a handful of girls that I've worked that I've really enjoyed. But Casey Carlisle, I don't know, she's just freaking amazing.
I recognize that name, Casey Carlisle, former
Mhm.
NWA Women's Champion,
Yes.
and I'm very fortunate to interview her plenty of times. And I keep telling her this when she's on the air with me. Not only she's a fantastic wrestler, but an incredible human being, and
Mhm.
how class personified she is. And you don't hear a bad thing about her unless you boo her when she in character. But other than that, she's just a constant professional. Um, and,
Yes,
and
very much so.
so,
I appreciate her. Like, I appreciate her very much, and I tell her that all the time. So.
shout out to Casey Carlisle. She's amazing. I want to get your thoughts on what's going on with the WWE Women's Division now that the brand extension has officially happened. You got Woman on Raw, you got Woman on SmackDown, and how about that Sasha Banks becoming the new
Oh
Women's
man, that
Champion?
was so sick. That was so crazy. I was at training when the show airs live, but I do DVR. I DVR like a lot of wrestling shows, and I came home and I was like, before I go to sleep, I have to watch this match, you know. And so I sat there and I watched it. They gave them time because I remember I think recently Becky Lynch was at like Comic-Con or some
Yes,
convention
yes.
and was talking about, the women having more time. And they had more time than what a lot of women normally get in matches. And just watching it, it was just, wow. It's like I got chills. I got chills watching the triple threat match at WrestleMania, but I got chills again watching this match because they went for it all. You can see the emotion on both of them and just the things that they were doing. It was breathtaking. That moonsault from the top rope was just a thing
Mm.
of beauty. I always say Charlotte's moonsaults are just like, man, if I could do one move just like to perfection, it would be just like that, the moonsault. And then when Charlotte was like, "You'll never beat me, you'll never beat me," it was just, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It was a weird feeling. And then when Sasha ended up, putting her in in her finisher, it was like, wow. And it's like she tapped out, and I was just like, oh my God, this match right here is just, matches like that motivate me, and it should motivate all the women that, look up to these girls and want to get into the business. I'm just like, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? So it's awesome. I love watching matches like that.
This revolution that's going on is on cloud nine, and what's going on, and what started with NXT, and now what's happening on the main roster. Women wrestling in WWE means something again. It's something to watch. It's something to keep an eye on. I mean, they got some good talent in there. They got Becky. They got Natalia. They got Charlotte. They got Sasha. They got Bayley. They got Asuka. I mean, this is just an incredible collective group of women wrestlers.
It is very much so.
They have ditched the Divas name. They are referred to as superstars now. They're not.
Thank God.
So
Thank God. I was like, I'm not a diva. I don't see myself as anytime I think women, even on the indie scene, they got that label as a diva. And I'm just like, when I look at myself, I don't see myself as a diva. You know what I mean? I think when I hear the term diva, I think Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, and, Celine Dion, women like that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, these girls, they're not divas. You know what I mean? And it's just, I'm so glad that they changed it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they have, like, a belt that is the same as the men, because these women can compete with the men. You know what I mean? I just appreciate them for just going out there and just doing their thing and bringing it to the forefront, bringing it back to the forefront. So
it's definitely a great time to be a woman wrestling fan, and it's just a matter of where they go from here, leading up to SummerSlam and so forth. And I'm happy to see that Ring of Honor is starting to get more women wrestling involved with their Women of Honor division as well. Looking at Taylor Hendricks and looking at Mary Dobson and just Veda Scott, you mentioned, and women wrestling.
Kelly Klein.
I love
those
Kelly.
Girls.
I love Kelly Klein. She's awesome.
I would love to work her. I don't know. She just feels like she would be a very interesting person to work. So I was like, hey, Kelly, if you can hear this, girl, make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to see that too. Now, you come from the state of Texas, and you can't talk professional wrestling without talking Texas. There's so many people comes from the state of Texas, with like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, a Shawn Michaels, and Eddie Guerrero, the Von Erichs, and things like that.
Booker T.
And you being a wrestler from that state who's competed in that state, and so much talent. Barbie Hayden, Athena, who I think is in NXT now, and Rachel Summerlin. I mean, I can go on and on. I know a lot of women wrestlers in Texas, just so talented. What's it like to be part of a state like Texas that has a history of wrestling that's out there?
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because I feel like you were saying, a lot of those women, they go on, and they go on to do bigger things, and it just brings attention back to Texas because people want to know where these girls came from or where these women came from. And it just brings the spotlight right back to Texas. And so you want to be the best that you can be to to represent the state. You know what I mean? You want to be that state where people want to come to and want to work, and it's a great feeling. And I thank them as well for busting their butts and bringing attention to Texas. I got the opportunity to work Athena, who's now known as Ember Moon in NXT, and I can't wait to see her. And she was a great girl as well. She gave me advice, and that's always my thing that I do. If I'm working like a veteran, I love to sit there and kind of pick their brain. See what I can learn from them. And she's a great girl, and I hope that she goes far because she definitely deserves it. She's one of the women that I wrestled at Summer of Champions last year, and so man, she kicked my butt. I'll tell you that. But she's a great girl.
Indeed, she is. Indeed, she is. And I enjoyed this interview. The chat with you. And shout out to all the sisters out there in the wrestling ring doing their thing, because it's not that many out there. But to see people like you, Athena, and so many others, and Kong, and Jacqueline, and Jazz, and past and present, to see you ladies go out there compete, it's just a fun thing to watch. So
yeah, I actually cried. I will say something. I actually cried when Jacqueline got inducted into the Hall of Fame, because I'm like, wow.
Yes.
If she can do it, then you know what I mean. Like I have that chance too. So it's just, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, not only Jacqueline is a former women's champion, but she's a former cruiserweight champion.
Cruiserweight, the only woman to hold that.
Who knew?
So
the only female to do it.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, Robyn, why don't you go ahead and promote your social media links, Facebook, Twitter, any other links people need to know?
Okay. You guys can friend request me on Facebook under the name Robyn Reid, ROBYN REID, Robyn Reid. And on Twitter under the name Ivory Robyn, that's IVORY ROBYN Row ROW. So I don't have Instagram. I'm not a selfie person. I'm still trying to learn how to work phones and stuff. So I stick to Twitter and Facebook. So
it was great chatting with you, Robyn. Thank you so much for your time. And everyone, don't forget August 20th, which I believe is SummerSlam weekend. But if you are in the Texas area, Summer of Champions 3, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, featuring Kurt Angle. He's going to be there for the meet and greet. Get the pictures. Get a picture with him, Booker, and Sharmell. Almost like a main event Mafia reunion of sorts.
Yes,
so,
main event. Yep.
So, and is Robyn going to be part of the show? You got to be there to find out. So,
you got to find out. Make sure you get your tickets. This show sells out every year. You got to be there.
Thank you so much for your time, Robyn. Continued success, and you have a great night. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye. That was Robyn Reid of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling Summer